Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of DCT Recruitment's The Icing on the Career Cake. And today's icing flavour is brought to us by Mark from Maxio. Hi, Mark. How are you?
Hello. Good afternoon. I'm well, thank you.
Good. Well, you say you're well, but you've just had a bit of an operation, haven't you? So let's cover that first, because
I work overall. Yes. I've had a detached retina on my right eye. I had the surgery performed at start of Feb. That failed, so I had it again 2 Wednesdays ago. This one is apparently successful, and I have a checkup a week Monday. So looking forward to getting the oil bubble removed and my full sight back and being able to drive, as it's been very restrictive, and my other half doesn't like me at the minute.
Right. Well, now listen, when you're not testing out the NHS, what are you doing, sir?
So my main thing now is I'm a business development director for the Maxio Limited company. That is, I'm the face and the sales of that. The business is split into sort of three main areas. So we are a supplier. PPE is a big area for us. Site consumables is a big area, and then the third one is the site setup. So the logistics, the signage, and the fencing, and the bits and pieces to make a site compliant, so that it can get going.
Do you know what? Now I'm going to have to say this when someone talks to me about site fencing and whatever, people keep moving it. Is it a bit of a pain? I mean, when you have site fencing or fencing around sites, and people go and put it up, and of course it has to be relatively movable sometimes, as different parts of the site get worked on, and then it gets moved somewhere else. But is it a pain with general public trying to be a bit naughty with it?
Yeah, well, general public don't too interested in it. Children, it looks a great playground. Children are a bit of a problem, and then those people that are I don't know, with less morals, it may be of appeal to them. But moving it, as you know, as you've said, is phase specific. So gate 1 can become gate 2, etc., as the site changes, and also as the site expands. So you start off in a very small holding area, and as you expand it, it's a logistical part of the site until right till the end, and the deep clean, and everything's moving away.
Yeah. How do you go about determining the needs for that? Because I guess to the layman out there, it might seem quite complicated.
Mix. So we do rely on a lot of information from client with their site setup, with their logistics plans. Normally we can get hold of a bill of quantities. So on this site, on this date, I require X of this, Y of that, and that sort of gets us going. Sometimes that information can be slow, sometimes it can be urgent, and sometimes we end up going on site and looking at the...
Well, I was just about to say, would you go to site to measure it, or would you get them to measure up what they need?
Yeah. I'd say 60-40. So 60% of the time they do it and it's on time and it's usable, readable and accessible. 40% of the time someone forgets, it's in someone's inbox, the system's not worked, and they have a requirement for the following working day. Therefore, yes, we would go on site, take some measures, take some feedback, and produce our bill of quants and suggestions off the back of that.
Yeah.
There's a real relationship thing then that develops here, presumably, where potentially you give them feedback on when their measurements aren't quite so good, or when they've perhaps ordered a bit too much or a bit too little, and you over time you get to know the clients a little bit better and know how to sort of interact with that.
Yeah, we are relationship managers to a degree. There's very few places where we do something once. Building, whether it's commercial or residential, as you know, it's fast, and it happens, all over the UK, and those sites change and they adjust. We don't hire, we only sell, and you'll find some does move site to site, but some gets damaged, some gets lost, some doesn't fit on the lorry, whatever. And it tends to be at least a top up or a whole new set according to the site, the client, etc. But yes, we are managing the relationship more than we are actively selling as a cold sale.
So do you know, if you say like you directly sell it then, Mark, is a lot of it like pretty much usable for another site you can just adjust it to where you are?
Yeah, we the fixed panels and then the feet are quite they're available in whatever quantity, and then it's just gates and then relevant signage according to the kind of site.
Yeah.
And then the flexibility of the next phase means that we're going to need another 500 square feet or etc., and then working out what that is. But yeah, we do it all. Very rarely is it just a one-stop shop and we deliver and we don't see that client again. It tends to be they're back for that, and then beyond that we then do the consumables and PPE.
Yeah,
I've got to ask, right? I mean, I used to be involved in Diane's going to go, really? I used to be involved in so many things, but I used to be involved in sort of office fit outs, etc. So right. Office designs and fit outs. And there was an element there, especially depending upon where you're doing this stuff, it's either easier or a logistical nightmare. So, for example, whenever you were supplying internal fit out stuff for somewhere in the middle of London, with in sort of interior glazing, balustration, office furniture, whatever, you inevitably got millions of parking tickets. You kind of almost had to cost them in, and then there would be clean sites or brand new sites, which would be really easy because all of the services would almost have a route on site where they could get in, drop off and go and whatever. And then you'd have like places like round here in the country with down narrow lanes that a bicycle could only just about get down. And then you suddenly got to get scaffolding down. How do you weigh up all of that? And have you got any stories? What's the worst place ever that you had to ever deliver to?
I will see that they all have their own situations, don't they? So as you know, central London or anywhere busy is hard to park. You've got to be in and out before 10 o'clock in the morning, which isn't feasible when you're a multi-drop business. You're lucky to have it done by lunchtime, so the guys are on their way back to pick up the next bits and pieces for the following day's work. I would say they equally have the challenges. Yes, in the city, you're time pressured, you're ticket liable is, I think that's always going to be an issue, which is factored in to a degree of some of the cost. Logistically, we manage. We have one premises. We do everything to door because that's the thing. It means the client stays on site, doesn't lose anyone, doesn't have people sneaking off for extra tea breaks, etc. So delivery is important to us. We have a great team of drivers that know how to get the job done, that's on time and is efficient. In terms of stories, mainly it's negotiating with traffic wardens. So everyone said, mate, I'll be 2 minutes, and sometimes that 2 minutes is 10, sometimes that 15, according to how much help you're getting from your client. So yes, lots of daily occurrences.
I like that. That's always true, actually.
What's the smallest order that you've ever had to deliver, and then what's the largest that you've had to deliver within them hourly time rates?
Within an hour. So on a good day, well, not a good day for us is someone's just, I've forgotten, I ordered 10 boxes of screws and needed 11. So you've gone into London. Yes, it's multi-drop, but you're doing one order with one box of screws. You can do that, and you're not likely to get a ticket. But when it's pallets of plasterboard, because we do fit out is our biggest thing, is interior supply. When it's sheet material and then skirting board, window sill, and it's pallets and pallets and pallets of, With a good telescopic forklift driver, we unloaded one flatbed, 1 7.5 ton, and 2 transits in that time, with the pallets and bits and pieces stuffed around the back of the van.
Yeah.
Challenge.
Do those challenges then sort of impact in terms of some of the products that you then produce as part of the service? Because I'll give an example. When I was doing some work for a national retailer, and we were building their retail outlets around the country, inevitably the stuff that we were taking into those places, they hadn't quite measured up properly sometimes, or it didn't quite fit the space that they thought it was going to go in because someone had done something wrong somewhere along the lines. So we started to look for products that would be, for example, on desking, for example, we'd look for products that were slightly telescopic, or that could be adjustable in some way, so that actually it wouldn't matter so much. We could probably make it work for them. Is that the same for you?
It resonates with us with some of the bits and pieces. So the furniture guys, they do that. That's not our bag, but I understand what you're saying from that. That is that can be a headache. We find that things need cutting down. So we say, oh, I need X. Right, it only comes in 3 meter lengths. Well, I need it to be 2.4. 1, that's for the job, and 2, I can't get it up the narrow staircase that I'm dealing with. So that then becomes the challenge for, right, is it a dry day? Can we get the cutting equipment outside? Can you get your bench outside? Can you do that safely and securely in a short period of time to move the stuff into your environment? So yes, it presents a challenge with bigger stuff and with heavy. Thankfully, most of the refurb now, we have a lift, whether that's an out of use temporarily normal lift or a service lift. And then, as you know, on site now, there's no real lifting. There's no wheelbarrows on site. Most things are crane or mini dumper truck or telescopic forklift. So thankfully, modern working methods get us around.
It's great that health and safety's come into play, isn't it?
Yes.
I mean, back in the day, I remember lifting 1/2 a ton at one point, because you're trying to get it through a narrow door without dropping it. The two of us lifting a ton between us, and you just think that you just do it because there's no other alternative. But these days we have to look for the alternative.
Yes,
in order to be health and safety compliant.
Yeah, no one wants that on site, do they? You need to go home the way that you came to work, as well, and as fit as you could, and that affects everybody, not just the workers, the company, the end user, and everything. So yes, it does need to be, thankfully, as tight as it is now.
Mark, is it just mainly construction that you work in, or do you deal in other sectors?
We can supply in terms of things like PPE. We would do it to general construction or just about anyone who needs it. The facilities management side, so the cleaning product side, they can go again anywhere. And then the consumables such as tea, coffee, toilet roll, kitchen roll, washing up liquid. There isn't an office that doesn't need that, or a business that doesn't need that. So we have a massive array of customers, and that's forever increasing. So our core people who want the timber and all the bits and pieces, they tend to bolt on the sundries and things as well. But there are clients that just literally could, they could be in any field and say, oh yeah, we like the way that you deliver free next day. That's a brilliant selling point for us. Let me place an order with you. We have an online portal, so any of the big retailers, you can put your stuff in a basket, check out. If you've got an account with us, it'll go to your account. If not, you can pay by card, put in the site address that you want it to. Job done.
And go on, sorry, Graham. Do you find, because obviously you do a lot of construction and fit out companies, do you find once they've built them office blocks, so to speak, it ends up getting them as clients because they've seen that you've been there and they may have been there, for instance, like looking at especially when you get into the final stages of like the builders clean at the end of stuff, do you feel like you get work from that?
Often, yes. We're very good on our branding. We pink, the vans are pink. They stand out, and hopefully that sort of helps us people to remember us in terms of impressions. But yes, directly, more often than not, if we've done a good job and the people doing the work have sort of praised us and done things, as the end user comes in and there's a handover, there's some of our, especially our branded stuff, there's some of our branded stuff around, and that normally starts a conversation, or we try to say, who is it for? Can we have the procurement, the buyer person at the end, so we can follow that up? So yes, good question, Diane, good question.
Pink on a building site. That wouldn't have happened years ago.
It wouldn't. There's the small story behind that, because I do like to mention it. So on the slightly negative side, one of the directors, when the business was getting going, went through had cancer and went through a lot of treatment. She was very, very, very poorly with this, and has made a full recovery, and this is brilliant. But because of that, and since that, we have always supported some of the cancer charities, and we have chosen pink as our colour to A, stand out, but B, to keep that in the forefront of what we do.
Yeah, but as much as it's a sad story, it's nice to have that story, isn't it?
Mm. Yeah, people always, they like a why, don't they? They like a why. Yeah, why do you do what you do? Why is your colour pink? Mark, why are you in this industry? That people like to know your story, because it's what makes you different.
Yeah, absolutely. Like DCT are my initials, but it stands for delivering careers together. So, like I did a bit of a play on words, like, or letters, should we say. Yeah.
We always get to the why.
Yeah.
On this podcast, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for that story, that thing that makes us...
my why, and this is good.
It's your why.
Passion, but it's relevance, and it started the conversation between myself and Diane, and has led to this opportunity. So my career, after doing a couple of things, I fell into construction recruitment, and I liked it, and I loved it, and I made good money on it, and it was a brilliant thing to be in. But when I didn't make so much money and things didn't go so right, and I was sending people home so they didn't earn money, it's because the staff hadn't turned up. So we need to change that. How do I change that? Brought a conversation with Fiona and Gordon, the other directors in the business, and here we are. So when I say to a client, I know, it's because I do know. When I say to a site manager, I know that when you say I want my stuff here before 10 in the morning, it needs to be here before 10 in the morning. It will be here before 10 in the morning, because I know the repercussions of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If it's not there, people can't work, they won't turn up.
So next time my candidates are getting sent home because there's no materials, I'll be emailing you. Fix this issue, Mark.
I shouldn't have let you down. But if you come across a situation in your roles where you hear of it, and they say, I do, that's how we win clients. It's like, oh, I'm frustrated with X, Y, Z. They've let me down for the third time in a month. I need to look elsewhere. And our back end, our knowledge, 35 years plus of doing this day in, day out, as a collective, gets it so that we do it right. That's the difference. Yeah. The difference.
I expect you see the things that you actually provide changing over a period of time as well. I expect in the last few years you've probably done a lot of sandbags, have you, in the UK?
we do, and we have. So the things that are relevant is obviously there's ebbs and flows of business. There's the elements. So we gear ourselves up. We have the buying power and the storage space to buy in bulk. So we're just coming towards the end of the electric fan heaters. We're coming to the end of the rock salt. We're coming to the end of pallets and pallets of big jars of coffee. And we are just about to transition that into vented hard hats, bottled water, cooling fans, air conditioning units, because that is the next wave. So in terms of the site setup, there is that. And then, yes, the evolution of PPE, what it was, what the minimum requirement was, what it is now, the branding of such PPE, because people want to know who's on site with the name on the back, etc. So yes, it's always evolving, and technology keeps improving. What was waterproof 10 years ago is now almost useless, and we have breathable, waterproof stuff that people can wear all day. And if you're a traffic marshal in the UK in cold, dark November, you're very grateful of that technology.
So can I just ask, we had just last week, we had a workwear company on the podcast. Who do you use for that? Do you use a specific company, or do you make it your own? Or
in terms of the logoed stuff, we do a lot in-house. We have our own printing setup, and we also have a relative of a director that has access to a lot of merchandise. So in terms of our marketing material, pens, cups, all the bits that you know in recruitment.
Yeah.
Only construction companies and recruitment companies use so much free stuff to drop off. We have that, and then according to the product and the budget. So we have Rolls-Royce premium product, and then we have middle of the diddle, and then we have, look, I just need to tick a box here, get me something fit for purpose. So yeah, I have all that. So we have enough buying power, and we have enough on our supply chain to give the client what they need when they need it at the price that's within their budget.
Okay, so what would your ideal client introduction be then, if we were to help you?
My ideal client is someone looking to increase their supply chain for the elements that we sell across the four main sectors that we are experts in and carry more stock in. So they are the commercial interior fit out market, the facilities market, the roofing business, and the contract flooring business. So all of those four people use a lot of screws, nails, glue, paper, and sealants, adhesives. They're our bread and butter business. So that would be my ideal client avatar, is actually 4.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
Sorry to be greedy.
No, not at all. Not at all. I want to know, as just before we started, we were talking about music. I love my music, so I want to know: do you know whether any of your stuff's ending up at any festivals this year around the country?
We have done today. I'm not sure, but we are in the events, hospitality, and festivals, market, because those people, as you know, they often start with fencing, but they need various bits and pieces that we have access to. Wouldn't like to put a name to something, but in the past, yes, we've supported a couple of the big things. My base is in Essex, so we've done something local here, and one down at Reading, a very well known event down in Reading.
Well, yeah, I don't think you need to say any more. That's a very big event.
It is, and the pink stands out.
That's tremendous. So it's quite nice for you as well, in that actually customer wise, although you've probably got some fairly core sectors, it probably filters over into some slightly more unusual areas as well.
Yes, look, like I said, the general construction of those are great, and they're our bread and butter, but there isn't a human being, not alone a business, that wouldn't have water, tea, coffee, UHT milk, and all, the consumables and the cleaning products that go with running a house, an office, a micro cleaning business. So it does give us a very good breadth of people, which is nice and refreshing. My dad was in the used car business many years ago, and he had his own setup, and I learned my gift and my gab from him, because everyone buys cars, don't they? It doesn't matter where you are in life, unless you're in the city and you live next to a train station and you haven't got car parking space, or it's cost prohibitive, and you learn to deal with the vast majority of people. So that has been an asset in this situation, that we do meet a lot of people from all walks of life, and you need to find a way of building your rapport and getting on with them, so they come up, from an inquiry to a client.
I guess schools would be a good way for you to get into as well then.
Yes, we do a lot of the school work. So we end up with a school as a long-term client for some of the consumables, but the work in the summer holiday. So as you know, in the big break, construction, it's summer. There's more daylight hours. There's more guys on site, more people on site, which benefits you. And from our side, if there's any remedial works or any major things going on, asbestos removal or something like that couldn't be done in your normal time, the summer holidays are a peak trading for us to work on site with the people doing the work, and then B, that becomes something come September. Ideally, there's some of our bits and pieces around, but we go in and we say, oh, look, they've done this job for you. Hope you're happy. We were the supplier of XYZ. Do you need XYZ ABC? And build it from there. Yes, it's a good inroad, the education market.
I imagine that there's other sectors that are slowly but surely coming on board with all of this for you as well. I mean, round here, it's quite interesting because we've got a lot of manufacturing, but we've also got a lot of farming. And I guess farming might be an area where you perhaps are slowly but surely picking up, because a lot of farmers now are diversifying and they're building stuff, right?
Yeah, they are. There are many people, many farmers who are looking to build secondary income, and the Airbnb model, that kind of setup is becoming more prevalent, and barns and old stables and bits and pieces are being slowly converted and modernized and heated and plumbed and electrified, so that there is might be a smaller amount of income, but there is an additional income stream that they wouldn't have had. So yes, we are seeing opportunities fly up just about everywhere as people need to be resourceful. We're in a time where things are challenging and people need to adapt if they're going to overcome and survive. And yes, farming and those people with spare space are now becoming clients.
And we all love a good farm shop, don't we, Diane?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I like staying on, like, we've stayed on a farm a few times, like where you've hired the converter barns as a family, and we've had like the games room and stuff like that, hot tub. We've done that loads of times. It's great. And it's good that they can do that and have that like constant income then, do you know what I mean, over time.
Yeah, well, it's good, isn't it? It's quiet. There's never any issue with parking. That's what I find with these places, that and for what they charge, you do get quite a bit of privacy. You get quite a nice bit of space. If you've got, because I've been to something similar, like the private hot tub, then it's a very nice experience.
Yeah.
One of my site managers, he's got his own farm as well, and he rents their land out, and they do like local festivals, like all the TP tents and things like that. So yeah, it definitely is like what's up and coming, isn't it? What about in COVID for you, Mark? Did you increase your sales in COVID, or flat, or what?
The business, well, it only went one way, because the business started in COVID in the back garden with three desks and a couple of laptops and and a garage. So yes, it was as challenging as rewarding, but I was very remote at the time. This business has built, and it now can afford to have all of us in full time, and a team of drivers, a warehouse support team, and some good people. But yes, it was a time where there wasn't lots of people on site for I think it was 10 or 12 weeks. When we were still working out how to do the meters, how to give people access. That was a challenge. But beyond that, yeah, we just went up and up with people going to site in smaller groups, but the stuff still needed to get there, and we were still delivering with a contactless handover. So we would take the stuff, take a photo, move out the way, and then someone would come and collect. But it was a challenging as rewarding, I would say.
Yeah, there's a really interesting story there. I know someone that's it's a different sector, but they do logistics and they do deliveries all around the country, and they actually said that COVID was one of the best times for them because people were actually there when they delivered.
Yeah. I think everything does it have it. So back in the Twin Towers and all the negatives that came from that. I was in moving bottled water at the time, and there was no infrastructure, was there, in New York? There was nothing. So bottled water was going out by the plane load, and if you are in the right thing at the right time, you can make money. However, the adverse situation in the beginning. So yes, adapt and overcome, as they say in the infantry.
Yeah. So did you supply face masks?
I beg your pardon?
Did you supply face masks?
Yes,
Yeah.
and gloves.
Yeah.
And we still supply sanitizer.
I was going to say, the old sanitizer.
And that's one of our hottest marketing products. Small bottles of Maxio branded sanitizer that we give out on site and give us freebies. And thanks for seeing us today. They're still very, very much appreciated.
It's amazing. I mean, honestly, when you think back to those times, how we're going to think about those times in years to come is just, beyond me. The fact that everybody was washing their hands all the time, sanitizing their hands all of the time. People were squabbling over toilet roll. You see, I mean, if you had toilet roll then at the time, you would have been in.
The price doubled.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But
I think going to COVID, we've been through such a big part of history. It's crazy to think, isn't it? When you're going through, you probably don't realise it, but you think about the lens and the way society's changed and the behaviours that people have from that. You think back to when you were in school in history and you're listening to I know it's not as big as the World War, but it's still quite big because it's a global pandemic. You think what the kids are going to be learning from years to come. We're going to be them grandparents going, well, back in the day.
we will. But the building on this and the relevance of that to the now and the fit out market is that we had a very big period where people work from home or they work remotely or they worked as a hybrid. And now that we've got past that period where that's the norm, the office format, the office environment is changing to bring people back into the working arena and the environment because new people are joining and they need to be trained and they need to hear that conversation. They need to be in that meeting. They need to have a buddy. They need to have a sponsor, which you cannot do remotely. So our biggest niche is absolutely going through the roof as companies look, how do we get that back? We can go to the total extreme of a very big beagle that, we've got our pool table, our breakout room, our quiet room, our sushi bar, our hot tub. We've got all that. But equally down the other end, we've got some softer furnishing. If you like sitting on a sofa and having a tray with your laptop on it, we can facilitate that. So all of a sudden, the companies are upping their game in order to entice people back to work to get that collaborative model.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you, Mark. Years ago, I owned a stationery company for a while, and in a way, so that gives you a really big basket, doesn't it, to go out there with?
Yes.
I was going to say, you said you met Diane via networking, but presumably for you, every day when you're doing the job, it's networking. I assume that part of the sales process for you is networking. Saying to clients, "Oh, you're doing this. Well, did you know such and such is doing that? And actually, I can put you in touch with each other, and and we can be part of that pipeline to make sure that all happens." And that's just bringing it all together. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. The modern world is, as everybody knows, it's a very, very noisy world. And we're now at the stage where modern marketeers are saying you need between 11 and 50 contact points before someone knows who you are, knows what you do, and trusts you enough that you can do it before they give you a chance. And to get that conversation started, pure cold calling is extremely difficult. Everyone's busy. in a meeting, got their own tender to put out before your deadline. So networking and the power of LinkedIn, the power of other platforms enables you to engage with people, and you find that you're able to join dots. So I know what I bring to the party, but I've also found someone that does IT and internet moves. I found someone that does furniture supply. I found a couple of other people that do audio visual. So there are now things that I don't do, but I can say, look, we can do the whole package for you because I know a person that does that, and does that. And that is the positive of the networking that is now so almost a must-have in society. I could be in London 7 days a week, breakfast, noon and night, and have a networking event to attend to. That is how powerful it is becoming.
Yeah. I guess there will be people out there that will go and order the stuff or some stuff from, you know, those people with the brown boxes and the smile, who shall remain nameless, or similar, right? In terms of some products, etc. Do you think that part of it is trying to educate the buyer to go, well, yes, you could go and buy it there, but what you're going to end up doing is you're going to spend a lot of time, although you think you're not spending a lot of time because you can do it all on your screen, but no one's going to advise you on what you're getting to make sure it's the right thing. And then no one's going to join, as you said a minute ago, no one's going to join the dots for you. So no one's going to relate that, well, if you ordered that, have you thought about this? Because you'll need this at the same time. Mm-hmm. Is that the bit that you really spend a lot of time trying to?
Yes. So inertia is a big factor, isn't it? How do you get someone to send that inquiry to Maxio rather than the current supplier, whoever it may be? We know that tech is important, and we know there are people in procurement that don't just buy what we supply. Their job is to buy tons of materials per month, per year, for a very big conglomerate, and time isn't on their side. So we have the high tech side for that, where they can just check out and there is no human contact. We also have people that could, you know, if you're on site and you cannot send a purchase order until you've finished because you're on the tools, I will take that. I will take a WhatsApp message. I will take a voice note. I will take, you know, a phone call, and trust that person that I will put that order through, which you cannot do with the people that you mentioned, or a lot of people. You cannot.
I'm holding the tile and the grouts run out. Hurry up.
It happens. You know, our client is often the guy doing the job. You know, the plumber who's just running out of mastic, he might be doing that and driving to price another site before he gets home to spend time with his wife and kids. We need to make sure that he can order his things for next day, so he doesn't have to do it when he gets home, because he wants that family time. So I believe that we're high tech, but also that we are high touch. And it's, yes, you can phone any of us and do you sell? Does it come in this color? Does it come in this size? Can we get it before Friday? All of those things that you cannot do with a pure online retailer that has no interest in what you're going to do next, because their client base is so big. Whereas we do care what you want to do next, because we'd like to be a part of it.
Yeah, that's exactly how we feel as well. You know, like, we've got that more personal touch. You know, people are going to be able to contact me a lot easier than the bigger agencies. You know what I mean? So you're going to have someone of your caliber as well to speak to when things go wrong, or when you need to have, you know, a conversation. So yeah, we pride ourselves on that as well, Mark, being there, you know, for, you know, whether that be for the one-man band tradesman trying to grow the business, or a big massive construction company. You know, we can facilitate all aspects as well.
That's good. You need that, don't you? Service now is well, you know, price is somewhere in there, but service, availability, consistency, integrity, all of those things, plus all the modern credentials of being clean and green, apply far more than, oh, how much?
Yeah, definitely. And I know, like, everything is technical a bit more, and everything is, you know, going to go that way, but you still can't beat that in personal interaction. You know, when you're having to call through to companies, it just winds you up, doesn't it? You know, it takes about 40 minutes to get through listening to the options A, B, C, and D, and whatever else, you know, and It's just, all our automation stuff. Yeah, it works for whatever, but you still need to speak to someone sometimes. Just say, look, is that going to happen today? Can you just help me?
Yeah, you'll never replace the human touch. The networking event I met you at, that is something that will always be a human interaction. We embrace those people that know our brand, people that know how I work. They will see that we do embrace a small amount of AI to create videos and marketing material for us, because it is so quick and it is so efficient. But that is a small part. The rest of it is this. The rest of it is me on the phone, setting up a meeting, going out to a client, going back out with my findings and my suggestions and proposals to then do the negotiations to get that over the line. And that I'll probably do that for the next 15 years.
Yeah. AI is great. It's a great tool, and technology as a whole are great tools, and they will only get better, and they will help people get customers' answers faster, and all of that is great. But you still need that human eye and the human brain and the experience that comes with it, because what the human brain can do is just absolutely amazing. I mean, you can't just take like a fuzzy photo of a part of a toilet system and put it on Google Lens and go, I want one of those. It won't do it, but you show that to someone that's got a bit of knowledge, they go, oh yeah, that's one of those. They just get it for you, and it's not, and that's done, and and here's the other bit. The other thing a human will do is go, and you got one of those to go with it? No. Well, you'll need one of those, and you'll need one of these tools to do it with, because they know all of that, because they've been there, they've seen it, they've done it. And as you undoubtedly speak to people on sites, you must know a lot, or a good amount about quite a lot.
I'd like to think so, but I will say we and not many people do this. 7,000 lines, 7,000 SKUs on site that are on our system that are available for free next day delivery, and then a further 300,000 items that we can get. So that's a lot. That's a lot of product. That's a lot of product. All right. So everything from tacks and screws to white goods and pipes, hoses, brackets and fixings and everything in between. So yes, when someone says I need some car parking paint, is it permanent or is it temporary? We know the questions to answer that you would not get from a flat interaction from just a pure website, and you would not get from someone who hasn't got industry experience, because some of the guys that order know what they want, but some are doing the work for someone on site and they get half the information. So we have a lot of our things are filling in the blanks. Before you press that button, just double check, is that what you exactly want? So yes, our knowledge is what sets us apart from your warehouses.
I was going to say, there you go, folks. There's the challenge. Try the Maxio pub quiz on the Sunday night. It's brilliant. You got to know you got to know over 3,000 SKUs. But there you go. Listen, Mark, it's been a pleasure talking to you. Thank you so much for coming on, and I hope that your eye recovers quickly and that all goes well.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure to be part of it, and thank you for the best wishes. It's great to see you all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, thanks for coming on.
Yeah,
and if people go on, go.
Oh, I was just going to say before you go, Mark, just one last out to the audience. How can people help you out there?
In terms of me, I'm looking to speak to procurement people and buyers within our sector, ideally, so we can get you on board quickly because we understand your requirements. So a general construction company, a fit out company, flooring, facilities management, or roofing business, if you have requirement, if you have a need across the UK, please get in touch. Mark at Maxio, and I will do my best to contact and follow up. Thank you.
Brilliant. And
how will you contact you? What's your details for them to contact you?
Yeah. Easiest one, mark at maxio.co.uk.
Perfect.
That's absolutely perfect. And Mark, Diane said she'd like one of the pink sweatshirts. polo shirts.
I'm going to change some merchandise, Diane. I think I owe you. I thank you for your planner.
Your wall calendar.
Yeah.
A pink water
Can
bottle.
you pink her out? Can you pink her out? Yeah.
With my name on.
Yeah.
All
Some
right.
wall calendars are everywhere.
So we'll get you pink. We'll get you pinked out, Diane. How's that?
No problem.
Cool.
Yeah. Oh, and the tape measure. Everyone likes the pink tape measures.
Well, on that, on the 27th of April, I'm doing a Women in Power event for ovarian cancer. So if you would like to sponsor me, then that would be good. I'll send you the link.
Send me the link. Send me some details. Let me see what we can do. The short answer should be yes. Yeah, let's get something on and help.
Amazing. Thank you.
Brilliant. I hope you've enjoyed that, folks. That was Mark from Maxio, and it's another edition of DCT Recruitment's The Icing on the Career Cake. If you'd like to come and speak to us, if you want to tell us about your business journey, how you got there, what you're doing now, how you're empowering people, how you're helping all of us to be better out there, then do let us know. Until next time, bye for now.
Thanks, Graham.